What is it like being such an influential African-born female executive who is calling the shots, really, in corporate America? I mean, this is incredible. You're living the American dream.
It is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I think what's great about it is doing what you're called to do. When you know that you're following in the path that you've been called to do in life, I think there's a lot of satisfaction in that, and there's a lot of, I think there's a gift in living out your calling. Yes, and being the only, or
you can say only,
often being the only in the room.
Yeah,
I try not to think about it, but I also view it as with a sense of responsibility, right? So also giving back, whether it's to other women or to other immigrants, and making sure that I'm sharing the lessons from the journey, and making sure that I'm not the first. I'm the first to hold the title of Chief Anti-Bribery Officer at Citi, but one of the things I really hold dear is, if you're the first, what good is it to be first if you're the last, right? You don't want to be the first and last. You want to build many more to walk in your path as well.
We're having a lot of conversations around diversity and inclusion. What do you think someone like you, a woman, African-born, a Black woman, what do you bring to the table?
I think it's very important to view our background and our culture as a positive, because that's something unique that you bring to the table. If you view it from a negative perspective, in some instances you may be limiting yourself, and you may think, well, if I look at the statistics, I'm the only one, or if I look at the statistics, there are very few of us in these positions. But if you view it as a positive and think, I'm bringing a unique perspective, I'm bringing magic to this conversation, and this is really how innovation happens. When you think about diversity, it's really about bringing different experiences and different perspectives to the same problem. That's where innovation happens. That's how magic happens. So I think whenever we view from that positive perspective and say, I'm bringing something to the table that others may not be bringing, and that's a positive. And I think that really drives you to help spark that innovation in those conversations.
Absolutely, very important. And a lot of African women or Black women, I think I can say that, struggle with maintaining the identity, staying true to themselves in corporate world. There's this pressure that you have to be a certain way, even the way you wear your hair. And as I'm looking at you and you're wearing these fabulous, locks, how do you deal with some of these things in your career? How do you still stay true to yourself?
The interesting thing about my locks is I don't believe I've ever experienced discrimination or a negative perspective towards and I've had natural hair for the majority of my time in corporate America. Much earlier in my career, I had short natural hair. It was loose, and I interviewed with it. I wore it proudly. I will say, unfortunately, some of the more negative reactions I've gotten about my natural hair has been from Black women, which is unfortunate. So I actually remember a particular experience where I was interviewing with a Caucasian man, and the entire conversation went fabulous. But before I met with him, his admin gave me a dirty look. She looked at my hair like, where's she going with that, right? And so I think it's very important that we have that sisterhood. And that's one of the things I like about the time that we are in today. Women supporting women, Black girl magic. There's a lot about empowering each other and lifting each other up. And I think the more we tap into that positive energy and build on it, I think that's how decades from today we're going to be able to say, we did it because we moved together. We didn't fight each other. We raised each other up and we moved forward.
So you're saying that some of the things that, some of these issues that we face are things that we do to each other. It's from our own communities, right?
Yes.
And I also, I can share my experience of growing up in the Bronx, and I've talked about the discrimination and stereotypes that I went through growing up as an African. And most of these, stereotypes were coming from Black people that look like you and I. So I think it's a very important part of the conversation
that we don't perpetuate those stereotypes ourselves.
Yes.
Yes.